Well, I've seen a few videos about the SkyRC iMAX B6AC charger. It basically does any type of battery you can think of, from, as you can read there. Let's see if it'll zoom focus. See, it does Lipo, Lilon, nickel metal hydride, nickel NiCad, PB, which is lead acid. You got your circuit power, charge from 0.1 amp all the way up to 6 amps. And this one, you can even discharge a battery from 0.1 amp to 2 amps. This one is real. I'm going to cover up my number. There's the hologram sticker that comes with the SkyRC. That you input that, your serial number and the number, and it gives you, basically tells you if it's authentic or not. It's got plenty of ports for charging. To keep it cool. On the side, this is the right side of it. You have from 2S all the way up to 6S, and your input and output. And it comes with a pair of banana plugs with a DIN plug on the end. A male DIN plug. And then your accessories, it also does come with a power plug, and you can also run this on a DC power supply. I don't know where that, oh, there it is. That's what this right here is. You plug these into your battery, and then this plugs in. You can see right there. That right there would plug in right there. Just like that, and you would be able to charge out in the field. A couple things really cool about it. You can buy two different things to go in this. You have a PC link, and you also have a temperature gauge that you can buy, and you wrap it around the battery, and it monitors the battery's temperature. If it gets too hot, it will automatically shut it down. This is an American version, so DC. It can actually take from 100 to 240 volts, but 50 to 60 hertz, and that's American. That's in America. The PC link, you can monitor everything with your PC, or you can plug in the Wi-Fi, which allows you to basically monitor everything from your tablet or phone, so you don't always have to walk up and look at the screen, and we'll go over those features in just a second. You have your battery program button, your decrease and increase and status. That gives you basically allows you to go through everything while the battery's charging. Change many different parameters. You can actually program your batteries in here, so every time you go to it, you don't have to set everything up. You can just go to program batteries and select the battery that you're wanting to charge and press start, and then it'll ask you if you want to start again, and then you press start again and it starts. So I'm going to get it up and plugged in, and we'll go from there. Okay, now we're getting to the part of plugging it in. It's plugged in. You always want to have it plugged into a wall because it has a ground, and you want to make sure that ground is connected. Yes, there's my PlayStation 4. So always plug it into the actual wall socket. I have other chargers plugged into a three-way, but I want this charger to have its own outlet, so it will have full power. And then you have of course these are the two actual power leads, and then your ground's up here. So you plug it into the side, and when you plug it in, SkyRC iMAX B6AC comes up, and the first thing that comes up is Lipo balance charge. But you can also Lipo charge, Lipo fast charge, Lipo storage. If you're going to store your batteries, it actually charges it to a storage charge, so not a full charge. And you also have the Lipo discharge that you can discharge at max 2 amps. And you can select how much and then how many cells. But the batteries that I'm going to demonstrate is this is for the starter for my Nitro Rustler and my T-Max 3.3. So the main plugs that I use, I've always used Dean's, Futaba's, and of course XT60. XT60 has always been my favorite because it can handle a constant 60 amps and bursts of about, I believe, 120 to 150 amps, and they are very well insulated. This is actually the male side, and you can see how well it's insulated all the way around. But if you look at a Dean plug, which is the actual plug that plugs into it, that's the banana plugs that actually plugs into the side right there. You have a black and a red. But the male end on a Dean, you actually have, if it comes unplugged a little and you are running a lot of power, it could, if it comes unplugged a little, it could possibly arc across. But with an XT60 connector, you can see that there is no possibility for arcing across because everything is completely closed and insulated. These are completely waterproof. Well, not completely, but they're water resistant. If you were to put some lithium grease in the female end, I think it's lithium grease, no, dielectric grease, it would be 100% waterproof if you were to have one of these in your vehicle. That's why I love the XT60 connectors, and this is what comes with it. On one end you have the Dean, which I'll plug this in to show you. Black goes into black, of course, and red into red. A little hard to do all this with just one hand. And you see you have all your balance from right to left. You have your 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cell, 5 cell, 6 cell. First we're going to start off with a nickel metal hydride, which is my Traxxas power cell. It's 6 cell, 7.2 volts, 1800 milliamps. So basically what you do is you take the lead that you're going to use. The ones I mainly use are this one. It was supposed to come with a Dean to Tamiya converter wire, but it didn't. But I had an extra Tamiya wire, and basically it comes with a Dean to alligator clips. So I just stripped the wire very well and put some solder on it to make sure the wires don't fray, and that's the charger for anything nickel metal hydride or anything with a Tamiya connector, but I don't really use those. These are just for my starters. So what you're gonna do is take the Dean, the output lead, and plug it into your connector. If you don't have Dean connectors for everything, you have adapters. Okay, it's now connected, And you see, following the wire, it goes all the way up to the charger. It's a long wire, I'm guessing probably about 30 inches, so you can put it in a Lipo bag to protect your house, your home, everything. Never charge batteries while they're still in the car. I actually have some vehicles, like these little low-seas, these little mini low-seas. I drift with this one, but it's actually got the balance plug right there, and it actually comes with a JST connector also, which is this one right here. That's what I have inside my low seas because I run my low seas with this one actually has a I believe it's a Predator 350 milliamp 2S Lipo, and I have the same thing in the brushed version. The brushed version can only take 2 cell, but as you see on all my batteries for my low seas, they all have JST connectors. That's the 4.8 volt 2 cell, I believe it's 2 cell, 220 milliamp battery, but you can even charge these with with this, because you can go at 0.2 amps and you'll be able to charge these little ones. And of course, probably my smallest, most powerful battery is a Turnigi Nanotech 3 cell. I believe that's 50 milliamps. No, actually 180 milliamps. With a 25 to 40 C discharge rate. But it's tiny. This thing is very small. The chargers that I were using this is my very first Lipo charger. Nothing special, it just does from 0.5 amps to 3 amps. Doesn't really do anything. And this is the charger that I use for my nickel metal hydride. Nothing special here either. Just put it on and wait for the light. But with this one, you have a readout that does so much more, and we will get to that now. So basically what you do is you plug in your battery, okay, and then to go back you actually press the stop button, and then you can choose battery program, a Lipo battery, lithium iron ferrite battery, Lilon, I'm not sure what those are, nickel metal hydride, NiCad, lead acid, so car batteries. This can even charge car batteries. You have your battery meter, so we'll go to that real quick. This is reading 7.83 volts, but I've used it a lot, so the milliamps are low. And I'll get to that in just a second once I start charging it. And I'm also going to show a lithium battery and all the details that it shows with that. So we're going to go back, so you press stop. It also has battery resistance. Press start, it'll read the battery and actually check the ohms for you. 42 milliohms, I believe that is. So, and you can actually change a lot of different things. Let's go back. Okay, that's that. System settings. Safety timer, capacity cutoff, temperature cutoff. Right now it's on, so it's at 80. It says 80 degrees Celsius or 176 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm in America, so we use standard units, not metric. Rest time between charges, charge to discharge, 10 minutes. Nickel metal hydride sensitivity, peak, you can actually change that. Default 5 millivolt for cell. I just stick with default. NiCad sensitivity, then the noises that it makes. You got your key beep, and then the buzzer when it gets done, it'll actually make a little noise. Input power, low cutoff. Not exactly sure what that is. Load, that is to go back to complete factory settings. And then there's your firmware version. Oh, don't need to see that. Too late though. Now you can edit that stuff out. And then back to safety timer. And then you have your battery memory. I actually have one stored in here. This is my my 5,000 milliamp hour. That actually goes in this car. It has a Castle Mamba Max with a 3800 kV 3S motor. So I was actually able to store it in there. It charges at 5 amp. I mean, the capacity is 5 amps. I'm not sure what D is, but it's really cool. But that's that. And then you go to Lipo batteries, but we're going to do a nickel metal hydride battery real quick. So you're going to go to it, press start. You have nickel metal hydride charge and auto charge and discharge. And then you can change re-peak. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I just leave everything to factory settings. And then the nickel metal hydride cycle, if you want to discharge and then charge it back up. Basically the thing where it says rest time, after it discharges it'll wait 10 minutes and then charge it, because nickel metal hydride batteries actually get pretty damn hot. And then your charge current, but I actually prefer the auto charge. So you press start and then it'll allow you to put at how fast you want it to charge. This is a 1800 milliamp, so I usually do either 1.8 amps or 2 amps depending how fast. So I would usually do 1.8, and this is auto charge. And then you press start, hold down start, it'll check the battery. And then basically what's going on right now is up here, that's how many amps that are being pushed in. That's your current voltage in the battery, your time, and it actually has a display of how many milliamps have been pumped into the battery. And you have more that you can go through. Your sensitivity, your peak sensitivity, capacity cut, of course, safe. It basically goes through everything again. That's where you can see your temperature of everything, if you were to have a temperature gauge in the side. That's the current voltage being applied to the battery. Again, your sensitivity, and just goes through all that. And when it's done, it'll actually beep at you. So that's a nickel metal hydride. So now we're going to switch over to a Lipo. To stop it, all you do is press stop, and it'll go back to that. So I'm going to pause it and show you how to set up a Lipo battery. First thing you're going to want to do is disconnect your battery. So So there goes the battery. My adapter, and plug in the XT60 connector. I only use four of these adapters. I use this one. This charges my T-Max. This is a Futaba, basically a servo. It looks like basically the male end of a servo. And where's the last one? Oh yeah. And of course the JST connectors for the my mini batteries, which would be like this one right here. That plug goes on that right there. So we take XT60, your male, and of course again plug it into the Dean. I'm gonna have to pause it because I gotta have two hands for this. Okay, the XT60 connector is connected to the charger. Now you're going to want to take your nickel metal hydride, and on the side you need to connect your balance cable to the correct balance plug. This is a 3S battery, so plug it into the 3S socket. And what you can actually do right now is go back, and again, battery meter. Does each cell. I have a manual power meter right here, but this can also balance them. Oh shit, that is broke. That sucks. Well, my manual meter got broke, somehow broke the screen, but thankfully the charger itself has a meter built into it. If I was just running with this, I would be completely screwed because I wouldn't be able to see what the voltage of the Lipo is. I have to get a new one of these now, and that just sucks. Thankfully I have mainly nitro vehicles. I don't do a lot of charging with Lipos, but it's very nice to have. And you can also check your ohm resistance for that. All you do is simply take the two ends of the XT60 and connect them together, and it will actually do the resistance for each cell. Those are off pretty bad, but it still charges very well because it's a very good charger. So we're doing a Lipo battery. Start. Oh, wrong button. 3S 1.7 volts. Well, this is a 2600, so I'm going to charge it at 2600 amps. Oh no, that's discharge. Whoops. You're going to want to do balance charge to make sure it's safe. 2.6 amps, 11.1 volts. Hold down the start button. See, it'll ask you to confirm, and then it starts charging. And then it says Lipo 3S. That's how many amps are being applied. Current voltage. You got your timer, and then how many milliamps. You can watch every cell while it's being charged. The actual percentage of it. and that's pretty much it. But you can also go this way. End voltage 12.6 volts, correct for a LiPo. That's how many volts are being put in. And of course your external internal temperature and temperature cutoff, and safety timer, capacity cutoff, and all that. But that is the iMAX charger. Thankfully all my vehicles have automatic LiPo shut off, but yeah, now I'm gonna have to buy a new meter, and that absolutely sucks. But I just sold some stuff on eBay, so I'll be able to get a new one for cheap. I don't need anything special, just something to read one. But that is the iMAX SkyRC genuine iMAX B6AC version 2. And so we're just gonna sit back, let the LiPo charge, and then be done. And you can actually watch it carefully. See, each cell is, even though the ohm ratings were a little off, each cell is charging just about perfect. That's how good this charger is. So, yet again, until next time, peace.